So why they gatekeeping on Steam?
Hey,
Listen,
did you guys
fanboys, they commit
link
hypocrisy all the time, bro.
Hello. So this is something I'm gonna do. Basically, I'm going to be talking about how do I describe it? Lies in PC and lies in just the gaming culture in general. I hope you enjoy this. This is someone who I've known for quite a while, since about 2016, since a YouTuber called Rags did a video on him many years ago. His name is JaytechTV, and he is what you would call a fanboy. He's a PlayStation fanboy. And some people actually know who he is. Some people are like, oh no, you're not talking about him, are you? And I am. Because I'm sick of it. I think my girlfriend's also kind of sick of the fact that I keep talking about him. But I thought I'd bring it up here, and I thought I'd tell you. So, he's made a video about Spiderman, the remaster. And it's great. On PC it's great. It runs on my system beautifully. I have it completely cranked at 1440p. I'm getting over 60 consistently. I'm getting between like 60 and 100. And the game itself is incredible. I'm glad I purchased it. I haven't played that much yet because I've been a bit busy with everything, and I recently got a Steam Deck, so I haven't been playing on my computer that much, and I feel like I would much prefer to play Spider-Man on my PC over my Steam Deck, but I have been busy, so I haven't been home. But he basically said all PC gamers are pirates, and I thought it'd be pretty fun to go through it together, so let's do that, you know?
When it comes to the ray tracing that I saw on this test and the other test, it was much better on PC, and I'm expecting I'm expecting it to be that way if you got a 3080, right?
Right.
3080s are anywhere between what 700 and above. Right now, I did the research yesterday.
Yeah, something like that.
So about 700.
I expect it to be way better.
I think the lowest I saw was $655.
But Jay, you got to also take into consideration for them to even get that the higher quality, the graphic quality, the resolution has to be way lower.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
To get the good ray tracing.
Resolution what was the resolution in the Digital Foundry video?
So the first thing I'm going to say about this is I apologise for the audio quality in these clips. The reason I'm clipping it is because it's 3 hours long and a lot of it is just rubbish and stuff I don't really want to talk about and not really relevant, to be honest with you. You'll notice when they're showing the actual clips of the comparisons, they're just talking through about stuff that isn't even on the screen. But I'll get all into that later. I just need to first apologise for the lackluster audio quality on these clips, because I don't mind JayTech's audio is actually okay. It's decent. I've heard worse, to be honest with you. But what I have noticed is everyone else in the group seems to just have terrible mic quality, and this is on JayTech right here. The mixing of it, because JayTech's he's in the green of mic quality, which is ideally where you want to be. But all the others are in the yellow or in the red, and they're just way too loud. And there's True Widdy, who's on quite often, and his is just, I don't know what he's speaking on. I don't know if he's speaking on a toaster or if his internet's really bad, but his mic quality is awful, and JayTech doesn't do anything to like smooth it out or lower the sound so it's equalized, because those sharp pitches, especially with headphones on, I've got quite expensive headphones on right now, it hits my ears and it really just affects me. So first I want to apologise for that. So I did a little bit of internal testing, and because I have a 3080, which is what JayTech is saying, you know, but True Widdy here is wrong. He says that you need to turn the graphical quality way down, and I think he means resolution. Turn the resolution down to make it run with the higher, you know, ray tracing, which is false. We have things like DLSS, ITGI, FSR, all of them, and that would happily make it work fine. I'll show you clip I've got up here. I'll be having a video up right now of me playing Spider-Man. It is at 1440p, admittedly, but that's because I have a 1440p display. But this is native 1440p. There is no kind of DLSS or IGTI, which is what Spider-Man uses on the PS5. And if you will play at 4K, realistically, it'd probably use DLSS. But solid 1440p, completely maxed out. I'm always getting a very, very high frame rate. So at this day and age, we can just, you know, put DLSS on and we can play at 4K. And there are many, many videos showing that DLSS basically doesn't really impact the look of the game. But then if you look at IGTI, which is Insomniac Games' own like version of DLSS, is a lot worse than DLSS. And DLSS is almost unrecognizable to the original image in a lot of videos. So if we want to play at 4K, we can happily play at 4K. And it's just false.
At 2160p, which is full 4K.
4K.
60,
Right. 4K.
60 hertz. And that's what they got it on. Now, I don't know if they say ray tracing because it's a bubble there. But long story short,
NX Gamer has a much better analysis to me than Digital Foundries.
I know, but everybody uses this one, so we just
I know.
We'll go to NX Gamer in a little bit. But long story short, if you want to be better than a $400 PS5 that I have underneath my TV right now, you have to spend more than $400 on your PC.
Oh yeah.
I am going to give JayTech some props here because he does show that look, it's 4K, but then he loses the props for a minute because he says, I don't know if it's ray tracing because of the bubble. The bubble is just a tip on how to get the game to launch faster, is using the load launcher mode. Very simple thing in PC games if you don't want to go through the launcher because it's a pain in the arse. Very common thing, and it is running with ray trace reflections here with Digital Foundry. The next thing he says is a bit of genius, might I add, sarcasm, because he says if you want to do better than the $400 PS4, which I don't think the PS4 is $400 because it's like 600 quid right now, £600. Obviously with region differences, but you're going to have to spend. He said if you want to be a $400 console, you're going to have to spend more than $400. No shit. No shit. I don't think anyone is saying that because we all know Sony make a loss on the consoles. I'm happy. You know, so Sony make a loss on the consoles because they make all the money through games. It's the way Steam works with the Steam Deck. I think Steam are making a loss on the Steam Deck, even though the Steam Deck is an incredible device because they made the money through games when people buy the Steam Deck. I just don't think it needs to be said, to be honest. It's a bit of a dumb take.
Pro PC.
No, you have to play it at PS5 settings. If you watch NX Gamer's video, he said you have to have at least a 3070. And you still won't get a lock 60. When you do world traversal, you will be dropping frames.
No, I also apologise for myself because I live in a town centre. So there is going to be like noise and everything because it's a very, very hot day in the UK. Especially in my flat. But whatever this guy says, I don't know if it's true, to be honest with you. I can't say performance of a machine which I don't own, but I do know that NX Gamer uses a 2700X in his video, and this game is heavily CPU bound, so 3070 and a 2700X doesn't really make sense. But maybe a 3070 requires to get console settings. I will flick up a clip here of, well, a screenshot of the console equivalent settings that aren't too demanding. So I think with the right DLSS and the right CPU, because they're avoiding the main issue here, CPUs. CPUs perform very differently, and if you have a good CPU, this game is incredibly CPU demanding. If you have the right CPU, probably gonna run fine.
You should expect better. When I spent almost $900 on this laptop, I expected better than PS4, PS5 settings button. I didn't get that shit. But I'm expecting other motherfuckers. Maybe they got
Here, JayTech has done the classic PC error, where he doesn't play video games outside, obviously, because he probably doesn't go outside very much. He basically says that he spent $900 on a gaming laptop, which I think most people who play PC would recommend against a gaming laptop, because the value for money is incredibly low for what you get. My friend spent £1,800 on a mobile 3080 and a 12700 something, 12700H I think, and the mobile 3080 is about half as fast as the 3080, and my girlfriend's building her system here. It's going to be just over £1,000. It's got over 3080 in it, from what we can get. 3080 or 3070. We're thinking 3070 to be honest with you, because she can play most games at 4K with a 3070 with DLSS, and her PC's going to be faster than my mates who spent 1,800 quid on a laptop. Laptops are not good value for money. I recommend against laptops, and if you want to go portable, you buy a Steam Deck, because I think a Steam Deck is incredible value for money. That's why I bought one at the time. I've just picked up a Steam Deck. I need to put it down now. There we go. But of course, because a laptop, the issue with laptops is they're very, very underpowered and very, very overpriced. He's not going out anywhere, and gaming laptops aren't really very portable anyway, because they need to be plugged in for the full potential. So JayTech making a bad purchasing decision does not mean that PCs, which are $900, because a computer for $900 can be way more powerful than a laptop for $900.
Playing it on PC. My problem is no, that's a lie. I've blocked a good amount of PC fans for literally lying to my face over the last 2 days, talking about how they're playing it on their PC, or hey, haha, I stole your game, or they gave us your game, or you were beta testing. I was like, I don't want to engage with you, and the reason why is like, you now have the game. The only way you should be able to tease me is by playing it, and if you can't play it and you refuse to play it, that's not that. Now you gotta hurt me.
I think I should give a bit of personal advice to JayTech here. If you go around talking to people, basically going, I've got this game and it's better than your game, haha, because that's what he does. You can't deny that. He does go around saying, we've got better games, we've got better exclusives, everything else is crap, or everyone else is a PC port begging troll or an export or whatever. You will probably get some quite vicious responses back, and people being mean to you. I don't know, maybe if you're not an arsehole about it, maybe then people won't be an arsehole back, do you know what I mean? And that was my kind of thought of it, was, yeah, but you talk to people like shit, and you tell them that their games are worse than yours or whatever, and you have the best games and PlayStation is the best and whatever, and I don't think that's a very healthy view for console gamers, because I have friends, right, so how do I describe this? One of my friends has a PS5 and a MacBook. He doesn't have a PC and he doesn't want a PC. He really, really likes the simplicity of a console, and he would never get a PC just because of that. Because PCs can be quite complicated sometimes, I'm not going to lie. If you go into emulation, sometimes they're a bit of a nightmare. One of my friends has an Xbox Series S, and he was the one with the 1,800 quid gaming laptop. Since he has got his gaming PC, gaming laptop, he's never gone back to his Xbox. I have one of my friends who has a Series S and nothing else. He desperately wants a PC, but right now he can't afford it because he's in a retail job and they pay fucking nothing in the UK. So all he can afford really is a Series S, and there's nothing wrong with that. He is a gamer, he plays a lot of games. He has a PS4 as well, and he played Spider-Man on the PS4, and he played Uncharted and some other PS4 exclusives like God of War. He was the one who recommended me God of War, Spider-Man, and I played both of them. Currently playing through Spider-Man, and I absolutely love it. And he gives me recommendations for PS4 games that come into PC, and I really, really love them. And this is my thing, everyone has a different view, and on top of this, my friend who has a PlayStation, has played PlayStation exclusives, even the one who has the PS5 and the MacBook, when they play a great game, they don't go, well, you should buy a PS5, you know? They go, I really, really wish it comes to PC for you, because they understand the fact that I'm not going to spend an extra £400, £500, £600 on a console where the games are more expensive. I have to pay for online. If I want to back up my games, I have to pay, and all of that bollocks. I don't want to deal with that. Why would I deal with that when I can just get it on PC for what, 40 quid? And this is my issue with it. No one wants to spend money on a device when they've already got it, and my friends have exactly gone, we wish you could play it because it is an incredible game. They don't laugh in my face and go, haha, you can't play it, we're better than you. No, they just go, mate, we wish you can play it. When it comes out on PC, we'd recommend it. And maybe you should be like that, JayTech, and then maybe you won't get such a visceral response.
Hold on, but here's the funny thing though. Aren't these Steam people the same ones that say they don't want the gatekeep games? So why are they gatekeeping on Steam?
Hey,
listen,
did you guys
fanboys they commit
link
hypocrisy all the time, bro.
Hey, yeah.
And this is why I titled this video JayTech Exposes Himself, because he just did it. Fanboys are bad for the industry. They do not help the industry, and I'm going to read the definition of a fanboy right now because I don't think a lot of you will realise what it is. Now, I am using Urban Dictionary, but you know, it's like kind of the way we work right here. So a fanboy is an extreme fan or follower of a particular medium concept, whether it be sports, television, film directors, video games, etc. Known for their complete lack of objectivity in relation to their preferred focus, usually argue with circular logic that they refuse to acknowledge. Arguments or debates with such are usually futile, every throw is spun into a semi-virtuous, and everything else blown to comedic and contradictory proportions. Known for the phrase using objective affection equals best ever. However, while people only really say hyperbole, PC fan. Oh my god, I'm not working today. My brain's not working. Fanboys truly believe it. Troll the internet to spread the gospel. I apologise for my awful reading. I've not been working today. I haven't had much sleep. So yeah. Also, I don't think you can really fanboy for PC. You can fanboy for a company. Like, I could fanboy for AMD, Intel, Nvidia, whatever. But I think JayTech doesn't realise that he's a fanboy for PlayStation. So he's just kind of roasted himself here. I don't know. No, it's true. Fanboys will always be hypocritical, and they will always speak hypocrisy. The main reason is because they want to defend their piece of plastic, or piece of metal, or whatever it is. And this is why I don't consider myself a fanboy in any way, because as much as I love my PC as a gaming device and as a work device, I do not put it on this pedestal. If AMD or Intel or Nvidia or Asus do anything wrong, I am happy to call them out, because they should be. I don't think JayTech would ever call out PlayStation on anything. Bearing in mind, PlayStation don't give a shit about him. I don't know what this thing is, but people should know that companies, the only thing they care about, the bottom line, is whether or not you buy their stuff. If you drop dead tomorrow, they won't be sad for you. They will be sad for the fact that they won't get another sale. That is the end of it. You never want to cheerlead over a company, a corporation, someone who is there purely to make money. Sony do not care if you enjoy the game. Microsoft does not care if you enjoy the game. A lot of indie developers do, but most big companies do not care. They just want sales, and they are led by sales. And if the games weren't making a profit, irrelevant of how big the profit is, if the games weren't making profit, they would not release them on other platforms like PC. Yes, they may not make as much money on PC because they don't sell as many, but they will make enough for it to come back. That is the point of it.
This Spider-Man, they cracked it the same day it launched. It's all over these pirates.
They're always going to do that, and it's sad.
It's already
sad,
been pirated more times. It's been sold already.
But this is where we could have a great discussion about PC. That's why
it's
the
people
PC
openly
is on the thumbnail.
look. JayTech, you got people openly saying, PC gamers on Steam talking about, or not Steam, on Twitter saying, "Oh, I already bought the game twice because I bought it on PS4 and PS5, so I'm just gonna pirate it on PC."
But guess what? I got something better. Listen.
What?
This Spider-Man shit.
No, they're right. This Link guy or whatever, he is right. That it got pirated the same day it got released. That's because there was a good reason behind it, because there was no DRM on it. Steam essentially is kind of a big DRM platform, but other than that, there was no DRM, there was no Denuvo or any of that bollocks. Now that bollocks does not work. There is no point putting anti-piracy measures in place because the game will be pirated no matter what. We have seen this. Games that have bigger piracy measures are usually pirated more than games that don't have as many piracy measures. It's kind of a thing at this point. And the issue I have with this is, a game will be pirated irrelevant. No matter how much DRM you throw on a game, it will always be pirated and it will always come out. It just delays it. Now, do I agree with what he says on if you bought it on PS4 or PS5? Like he said, I bought it on PS4 and PS5, so I'm just going to pirate it on PC. Do I agree with that? Maybe. The issue is it's tough. I don't think piracy is bad in the sense of I think more people will buy it because he hasn't given any proof or link or evidence that there's more people pirating it than there isn't right now. My kind of view is, if you've bought the game multiple times, you've already supported that developer, and if you want to pirate it, you pirate it. You're free within your will to do it. I don't advocate piracy, but if you want to use it as a demo, I did that a lot. I used to pirate games, and as a demo, I'd play them for about 3-4 hours, and I'd be like, actually, I do quite like this, so I'll buy it. And I bought it. I also used to pirate games when I was very, very young, and I couldn't afford video games. And that's a big thing, because pricing is not equalized around the world. Like, a lot of console games are $70 in America, and then they're £70 in the UK. £70 is about $90. So price equalization is not okay. There are places in India, I'm pretty sure, where one video game is about your entire 2 months' wages. Are those people going to not eat, not drink, not pay rent to play one video game? No, they're not. They're going to pirate it because they can't afford it. And I think it's one of those things where it's a touchy subject, and I'm going to link a beautiful PC Gamer article. It is a bit old now, but they did a study of 50,000 people, and they found out 35% of them pirated games. It came out in 2016, but I think it's still very relevant today, and I think it's a fantastic article because it shows how much people make and who pirates within where, and it's a very, very complicated issue that isn't just people don't want to pay and they will never buy the game afterwards. It's a very, very simple thing. I think a lot of people pirate games when the games might not work properly. I think piracy went down when Steam released a refund system, because the main issue with Steam is, in the past, if you bought a game and it ran like arse, you're stuck with that game then. My girlfriend said that this is a common practice on PlayStation. I don't know if it still is. If you buy the game and play it, you cannot refund it. I think that's ridiculous, because if the game doesn't work properly, you should be able to get a refund. But no, I don't think piracy is as simple as you're a bad person if you pirate. I think there's a lot of context behind it, and I think that piracy within reason is not too wrong.
Hey, I just read Always Bad Game is Coming, but that's funny as hell.
So this is the over paper that I want us to look at and talk about on our new discussion of the PC Spider-Man. So, oh no, it's Alex, which is trying his hardest to be a commercial success on YouTube. He's failing really, really bad at it.
I don't know if JayTech knows this, but oh no, it's Alex has more subscribers than him. It's not even by a little bit; it's by a lot. And he gets way more views than him, and that is by a significant amount as well. So I don't know why you're telling him that he's failing at YouTube when you haven't really changed subscriber count in many years.
So
this is the thing.
That's
the biggest.
Is that a surprise? Is that a surprise?
Though? No. But I'm using this as an example for the people that keep saying that they don't pirate on PC. Your most elite PC Master Race members are pirating games. I need all the lower level PC fans to shut the fuck up when they say, "Oh, piracy's not that bad." Then they want to go to PC Spy, Steam Spy, and give us a quote on an estimate of how many copies Steam Spy says the game sold. And they said the game sold anywhere between 1 and 5 million copies. But only 51,000 people was playing it at peak hour yesterday. Only 51,000 on Steam.
That game didn't sell. No, you said it sold 1 to 5 million copies.
That's what Steam Spy said.
No, it ain't sell that many. No.
No. My fault. That's what Steam Spy had estimate for God of War. Somebody was going back and forth with a PC fan on
God of War sold 900,000 according to Sony.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, why are PC fans using Steam Spy when?
I don't think JayTech understands what doing testing is. If he's testing the pirated version, he's probably comparing it to the non-pirated version to figure out, because there has been in the past benefits to pirating, as in, if you want to play the game offline, games that have always online DRM, if you want to play it offline, you're fucked. So you pirate that game so you can play it offline when you're going out and about and stuff. I get that. Maybe the performance is slightly better because it's not got de novo phoning home constantly. It's one of those things where sometimes the versions are better if they're pirated because they have less bollocks attached to it. So I get what he's trying to say, that the most elite PC gamer always pirates games. I know there are PC gamers who do not pirate games, and you've got to understand the reasoning behind it as well. So I don't know where he's really going for with this.
Oh no, for him.
But and you know what's crazy? These PC elitist dudes are cool with playing at 30 and 40 frames on the Steam Deck, but made fun of PlayStation and Xbox when we were playing games at 30 frames. It just don't make sense.
I think this point is a bit stupid, because the Steam Deck is a portable device. You can take it on the train, you can take it on a plane, you can take it everywhere. It is a portable device that can play video games. It's way more comparable to something like a Switch or a phone. It's not comparable to a console. Because one of my friends originally, when I bought mine was £569 because I got the 512 gig version. He said, well, that's more than a PS5. And I went, yeah, but you're comparing it to a device that you need a TV for, you need a power outlet, and you need space. This is way more comparable to a gaming laptop in a sense, and other devices that are like this, like the Air Neo and the Air Next and the GPD Win. It's more comparable to the Switch, and this is more powerful and cheaper than some of them. Like the Air Neo Next, that's meant to be similar power level to this, is £1,300. I'm not really spending that. And you comparing it to that is a little bit of an invalid point, because I would much prefer to play a game at 30 FPS on the go with limited power than not play a game at all on the go. because you've got to realise you're not playing a PS5 on a plane. You're just not. Whereas this will. And it's kind of understanding expectations. A PS5 is way more powerful than a Steam Deck. So I don't expect it to play some games at 60 FPS. I was playing Mafia Definitive Edition. It runs medium settings. I can get it to run at about 30 to 40 FPS on medium. This is on a Steam Deck on a portable device. Bearing in mind, if I play it on Ultra on my PC, and I think the pop-in's pretty bad on PC, but luckily you can change the INI files and pull it way past the actual settings. On medium, on a Steam Deck, on a 7-inch screen, it looks great at medium, and 30 FPS is way more playable. I don't get what he's trying to say with this point. The Steam Deck is a small device, it's portable, it's not a comparison between a console. This is way closer to a handheld device than a console, you idiot.
So listen, when they want to talk about Spider-Man, they don't use Steam Deck. Not from my experience over the last 2 days.
Maybe it's because you use IGN and all of those to watch your game interviews. I've seen so many people review this game on the Steam Deck because the Steam Deck is a fantastic device and you can play it on the go. I've seen probably more reviews on people playing it on a Steam Deck than on a 3090, because when you know what to look for, if you type in Spiderman Remastered PS5, it's there. It's one of those things where there's way more reviews on it on the Steam Deck from what I've seen. I've seen at least 5 right now. And yeah, people will use the 3090, and the reason a lot of like tech companies use 3090s is because that's best case scenario. The 3090 is essentially best case scenario. Technically you could say 3090 Ti, but no one buys that because it's a bit stupid. I've seen loads of reviews of it with the Steam Deck. So maybe you're just not looking hard enough, Jaytech.
Okay, and this is what I want people to say. This is what I want people to do, right? Whether you are my subscriber or not, you like me or you hate me, don't talk to me about people buying games on PC ever again. Stop. That is the biggest cap that's ever gone on the internet. Oh, you can't say they got pirated. You don't get any evidence. I got a lot of evidence.
I will show up a photo of my Steam library of 300 odd games and you'll see Spider-Man there. Because believe it or not, I didn't pirate it. I haven't tried to pirate it. I don't need to. I bought the game. I pre-ordered it the day before and I preloaded it on my system. And yeah, I will just show a clip because it's a really dumb take to kind of go one person who's not even big in the PC space. No offense. Oh no, it's Alex. Don't even know the guy. Well, 27k isn't that large, and one person of like a size, we'll call it a size, pirates a game. So that means every single PC gamer pirates games and they don't buy them. I'm sorry, I bought God of War. I bought God of War on Epic Games for £40. It was a little bit easy actually, but I did really, really love the game. Finished it in about 25 hours, and it was a great game. Loved it. I bought that, I paid for it on Epic Games. I also paid for Spider-Man. I paid for Horizon Zero Dawn, which I kind of regret because it wasn't actually that good. I'm sorry to say, Jaytech. I know you love your Horizons, but Horizon Zero Dawn was crap. Boring experience.
Well, because the only thriving game I've seen from any of the big three that's thriving on Steam to this day is Sea of Thieves. And I don't want to hear shit because nobody can prove me wrong with that because I pull up receipts every fucking month.
100%
so
right.
how are the major games doing on Steam? Because the last time I checked, World of Warcraft, Dota, and Counter-Strike, the same games over and over. They just bleed in microtransactions. Those games are thriving.
Hold on, man.
Let's go through this game by game. First off, World of Warcraft isn't on Steam. So he clearly doesn't look at it very often because World of Warcraft just isn't on Steam. Actually, let me double check my facts right now because I'm pretty much 100% sure. World of Warcraft. No, World of Warcraft is a Battle.net exclusive. If you didn't know, it's made by Blizzard and they don't put it on Steam, and I had to double check. Also, it's not free. It's free up until you get your character to level 20, and then you have to pay monthly like most MMOs. So it's not a free-to-play game. Don't know if that was microtransactions, to be honest, never played it. Dota 2 and Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike is one of the most popular games, and it's made by one of the big companies. It's made by Valve. Valve is a massive company, and Counter-Strike is still immensely popular. Probably more popular than most games on consoles, to be honest with you. The popularity of Counter-Strike is probably more than most right now. Even games like Left 4 Dead 2 still have thousands of players daily, and that game came out in 2011. So, yeah, it's a little bit misguided.
So you mean to tell me PC's been out for 5 years that have a graphics engine that's outdated?
The CPU was hoping. You know how I'm gonna say this? The CPU was hoping the most. You know why? Because when it comes to graphics, people don't realize the CPU is the brain. It's the most thing you need the most. Frame rate is going to affect the graphics. People are using the up-to-date CPUs, but old GPUs that's compatible, and adding RAM to them. So that way, all the textures can be stored, and the frame rate can stay high. So that way, the bandwidth is not shared. So the GPU, the old shit can flourish. The 1080 Ti is doing wonders for this shit. And that's old as fuck, bro. That card is old as fuck. Around 5 to 6 years old now.
I'll give him props. He's somewhat right. When you go for high frame rate gaming, the CPU is more important than the GPU. But I don't know anybody who has a newer CPU than GPU, because most games are pretty GPU bound. There are a few games where that's an exception, like CSGO, Spiderman. But many games nowadays are very, very GPU bound. That's why, for example, with the Steam Deck, they use, devices that are powerful enough in GPU, but not CPU. Like the Steam Deck CPU is not very powerful, but the GPU is way more powerful than most APUs. I don't know what bollocks he's trying about bandwidth and it being shared. Don't know what bollocks that is, but usually for higher frame rates, you need a CPU, and he is somewhat right about graphics look worse when the frame rate is lower. If you don't really know what you're talking about, because my girlfriend says the graphics are better on her PC than they were on her PS4, but what she means is the frame rate is higher, and that is because your perceived view of a video game with low frame rates looks worse, because it doesn't actually render the image clearly because it's stuttering. So I get what he's trying to say, but he's wrong because he's talking about bandwidth and bollocks. I've not actually heard very many PC people talk about bandwidth when playing video games other than specs.
So that's what I'm saying. I keep seeing it. It's not what I know it should be running on. It's what they brag about because they want to be above and beyond. And the thing is, it's a lot of PC fans that are not on that level and will not be on that level. Until that shit comes far down. And when the new cards come out, they gotta overprice the motherfuckers. But long story short, I'm wondering the lower level PC fans that are doing a lot of the trolling that I would assume to have lower level PCs, why are they not playing the game? See, let me help them out. You now have access to either buy it or pirate it. I'm gonna keep it 100. You have access as a lower level PC weirdo to buy the game or pirate it. Either way, fuck what you want to do. But if you really want to brag about the shit, play it. Play it. That's all you gotta do for me. You want my attention? Play the game. You now have it. You got God of War. You got this Horizon. You got Death Stranding. You got Days Gone. Play the damn games. Y'all did years worth of begging.
Games on PC does look the fuck good, even without mods. Even the versions of the console games look better on PC. Sometimes. The thing is, if y'all are really PC gamers, one thing you want to be doing is buying or even pirating the fucking game because you wouldn't care about it. So when people call us PC gamers, That's irritates me because as someone who started there, I didn't give a fuck about any other thing except I didn't care about Atari, Sega, Nintendo until I started being interested. I started there on PC, then went to Nintendo. And that's how I went from there. If y'all was really PC gamers, I wouldn't give a fuck about anything console related. The ones who get the games, Jay, don't ask them to post gameplay and nothing. Because that just proves the fact that they pirate the game.
I can't think of any game that looks better on consoles than on PC. Even the shitty PC ports look better on PC than they do on consoles, so I don't know what he's on about there. Also, we should give a shit, because we're part of the industry. Whether you like it or not, PC gamers, Xbox gamers, PlayStation gamers, sometimes even mobile gamers and Nintendo gamers, they're all part of the gaming industry. So we should give a shit what goes on in the consoles, especially when that shit's coming over to us. We want to see what we might get in the future. Like, my mates tell me, oh, Spider-Man's good, so I'll be like, okay, keep my eye on this. If it comes to PC, I'll get it. So we should give a shit. And I'm the opposite of you. I came from a very console-centric household. I had a PS1, I had a PS2, I had a PS3, I had a GameCube, I had a Xbox One, and then I moved over to PC. So, no, you're wrong, 100%. You should definitely see what's on the other side, because it helps you understand what could come to PC, or vice versa. If you see a game on PC that you really like, you should keep it on your track in case it comes to console. Basic stuff.
But that just lets us know that the gamer part of PC gaming should not apply to you as an individual. Because gamers play games, and they finish them. They don't just run tests and drop them.
Facts.
I can tell you guys right now, when I started messing around with mods on Unreal Tournament, I did not go back to the game the way it was. And because I didn't do that, or I couldn't do that, I didn't complete it. If you're going to mess around with mods on Spider-Man all the time, if you're going to do tests all the time, you miss the whole point of them releasing the game on your platform. They wanted you to enjoy the story.
I think I'm a little bit Mr. Dum Dum here, because I don't know, when I play a game, I usually play it without mods first, and then I'll get mods afterwards, or I'll have a look what's there. If it's a quality of life mod, I'll install it straight away. So there are mods for games like it skips the intro videos. I'm going to add that mod straight away, because that is the most useful thing. I hate unskippable intros. They can just fuck off. But I will enjoy a single player game. Most mods don't affect stories, from what I know, and if the story's good enough to keep you intrigued, you will continue playing it. Like God of War. I didn't use any mods in God of War because the game was good. And gamers finish games? Not always. I mean, I didn't finish Horizon because it was crap. It was boring. The intro was like fucking 3 hours long and it was all fucking boring. And I predicted the game 20 minutes into it. I predicted the entire story. And I actually had to double check because I was about 30 hours in. And I was like, this is really, really dull. It does nothing new. It does everything that it does fine. It does okay. But there's nothing new, there's nothing interesting. The characters are one-dimensional. and Aloy has no emotion. And it really annoyed me, so I just gave up and I checked the ending because I was like, you know what, fuck this. Story's crap, let's see what the ending is. And I guessed it within 20 minutes. Game's not exciting then. Game's boring. So, if the game's good enough, I will finish it. If the game's not good enough, I'm not going to spend my fucking time playing it. Or if I'm excited, I will actually sometimes. I finished Fallout 4, I spent about 100 hours in Fallout 4 and I didn't actually like the game. And just like Bethesda games in the past, so I was like, where's the fun part? You know what I mean? So yeah, I guess it depends game by game. But that shows how boring Horizon Forbidden West was. Not Forbidden West, oh my god, it was Zero Dawn I played. I haven't played Forbidden West yet. I've actually demoed it at one of my mates' house, but I haven't actually played it yet.
There's a lot of games I put mods on when it came to Steam, and I just enjoyed the mods. I didn't exactly go back to it. like the main game or anything. I just kept on fucking around with mods.
I think that is the view of someone who has never used mods before and has a PC now and they can use mods, so they use mods and they'll actually play the games. It's like when I got GTA 4, I originally played it on the PS3. And then when I came to PC, I got it for PC and I threw a bunch of mods on it. Spent about 2 hours in it and then got bored. Now I actually have had mods for a significant number of years and I'm not excited as I used to be by mods. I think they're a benefit, but no. I don't just play a game with mods and then never go back to it. That is someone who has never played with mods before and just wants to fuck around with them. Once you know what mods are and once you've had enough time with them, you kind of just, you're only really, yeah, you do install them. Like I still install mods. A lot of the mods I use are quality of life mods. But adding content to a game is not an issue. It's a good thing. Adding content is great. Mods are fantastic. I will never say mods are a bad thing and mods prevent my gameplay experience. And I hate people when they say it's as the developer intended it. Maybe the developer is wrong. Sometimes the dev is wrong. And sometimes it needs to be fixed. You know what I mean? So, yeah, fuck you.
They said, exactly, console gamers don't beg for PC games. Exactly. And I wanted to show you an example of that. I wanted to show you a very normal example of us not begging for games. Listen to this. We're gonna go to new games, right? So new games.
You emailed a dev asking for a port. I've never done that. What?
You beg for games. I never done that. We're not talking about you as an individual. We're talking about
No, he's saying you, Jay. He said you emailed a dev asking for a port. I've never done that.
Yeah, but didn't I go buy that game? I know what
That's
you talk. It's a big difference between waiting for years for the game and then saying, you know what, fuck it, I got the platform, let me go buy it. Y'all had years to go buy a PlayStation and play the games you were begging for. I had a laptop that could run the game. Guess what I did? Oh, the developer doesn't reply? Well, I'm just gonna buy the game.
I think there are console gamers who ask for games. I think there's very much console gamers who ask for games. I don't think it's exclusive to PC. I think most people ask for games. Since I'm using the word ask, I'll explain why I'm not using the word beg. Because beg is... They're not begging, they're asking. They're not grovelling at the feet. They're just asking. And I'm pretty sure there are many, many console gamers who have asked for video games. Like, even my own friends asked for BeamNG. BeamNG.Drive is a PC exclusive soft body physics simulation. All of my friends want to play it who play on consoles. Like, I really, really want this on console because it's a great game. It's a fantastic game. And I wish they could play it, but I don't know if a console could actually handle that because it's a very demanding game. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it here because I've just realised how long I've been doing this for. So I hope you like this little bit of change. I haven't uploaded in ages because I needed to get new internet that was faster. I had like a 0.1 megabit upload, now I have a 200 megabit upload, so I'm fine now. Hopefully I should be uploading a bit more, or probably not, to be honest, I don't care. Alright, bye.